Before we start with the video, I feel like we should address the long gap in between this video and the last. Simply, I needed some time in order to handle some real-life problems. By the time I had handled those real-life problems, YouTube was no longer a place I wanted to exist as a creator, and I refocused myself towards Twitch. By the way, you should go follow me on twitch.tv/NimsTV. In streaming on Twitch, I realized that it's not about YouTube as a platform, it's about the community. To that end, here I am with a new episode of Skyblock. I want to settle a problem that we've been having once and for all. We have been struggling, dealing, working with, trying to correct our nether blaze farm. We have a nether fortress that we are using to just spawn all manner of nether creatures, and sorting those down, or really just getting the blaze rods out of this thing. That's the only thing I'm really... Did that zombie pigment just spawn right there? I'm pretty sure I just saw him spawn right there. Excuse you, you are not supposed to be able to spawn there. We just want blaze rods. We have a giant project that we need blaze rods for, and with the current setup, you can see that the blaze is taking damage automatically. He just died. And blaze don't drop blaze rods unless they're killed directly by the player. All of these blaze rods, I would have had to have run up and been like, there should be a guy landing, and just sat here and swiped him, and see, that guy probably dropped the blaze rod. See, we went from 13 to 14. Look at that, chat room. We can count by one. Which makes this thing very, very tedious to use. I've been prototyping and prototyping and prototyping. That's a prototype. And prototyping. And I'm finally left with this. This monstrosity, this beast of a redstone contraption is a modification of my Blaze Farm tutorial, which has been on the YouTube channel for a while now. This is what we're going to be building. I made this on live stream. I used a lot of tips and tricks that were given to me by you guys in order to come up with a way to properly handle and sort out most mobs away from blaze, because that's the only thing we really care about here. So we're going to probably drop the floor of the farm by a little bit in order to kill all the zombie pigmen. See, we don't want that. We don't want zombie pigmen at all. We also don't want wither skeletons for the same reason, so we're going to drop them until they die. Now, perfect example. That second guy landed on top of the slime block, which caused him to bounce. NBD, no big deal. So let's now say, and then of course we're going to get a good amount of blaze. So, and then we're also going to get some chickens, because, you know, zombie pigmen can be pigmen jockeys. And so we're going to have some chickens in here as well. So how's this thing going to work? Let me first turn off particle effects so that way we can actually see what's happening and not just see smoke clouds from blaze. Chickens will immediately die thanks to the magma blocks that they are standing on. We avoid the entity cramming rule because entity cramming is set to 24, which means if you have more than 24 entities, it doesn't even matter if they're mobs. Now, mobs are entities, so they are included here. If you have more than 24 entities onto a single tile, they begin to cram. They begin to just die. And I can kind of show that. Let me create just a little bit of a hole here. And I'm just going to spam. Hey, not you. I'm just going to spam in a bunch of blaze. And you see how they're just taking damage right now? And they'll continue to take damage until they are reduced in number to, you can see, E equals 24. Now, if we add one more, take damage, one of them died, and now it's back down to 24. So that's what we need to avoid. Now, there's a trick to avoiding this, and most people likely know about this already. Mobs climbing ladders avoid max entity cramming. Well, that means that we can create a nice little 3x3 chamber and just cram as many blaze into this area as we possibly can. Now, we're still going to be limited by the max hostile mob count, but that's good. I would much rather be butting up against max hostile mob count than be butting up against max entity cramming. So now we've got a ton of monsters in here, right? We've got way more. We've got Entity 47. It's that fourth line in the top left corner. E47. So we've got way more than 24 mobs in here. And you can see that they're bouncing back and forth, including, let's say that we've got a... Hey, you're not supposed to be up there. Of course, this entire thing would be enclosed so mobs don't escape. So now we've got all these mobs in here, and we just push the button. A block extends, which prevents more mobs from falling into the space until the players had time to process them. All of the mobs that don't avoid falling damage, so anything that takes falling damage, will be super duper low health and thus be basically instantly killed by the crushers. We then use probably a sweeping edge. This is, you know, a custom NBT sword. But we'll use something with sweeping edge in order to swipe down the 2 packs of blaze on the left and right side. And that's it. The farm stays closed long enough for the player to push the button, the blaze to be reduced to 1 HP, you to swipe the left side, swipe the right side, and then that's it. And then all the experience comes out. There's some hoppers that move underneath the floor. There they are. Some hoppers that move underneath the floor, feeding into an item sorter, and all of our blaze, all of our everything would be automatically sorted for us. If we have, excuse you, you're not supposed to be able to get out of here. Now, the hardest thing with this was baby zombie pigmen and magma cubes, 1x1 magma cubes. The way that we, is there a way that we can, like, turn you off for a second, bro? That should pause you. Yeah. Magma cubes ignore fall damage. With the current design of Nether Fortress farm that we have, we can spawn 1x1x1 magma cubes. Well, if they avoid fall damage, and if they're not a too tall monster, meaning they won't get crushed, how do we kill them? Well, I don't remember what the command is for spawning one, but let me go grab that real quick. So we're going to just sit here and we're going to spawn a fair amount of tiny magma cubes. Okay, so this is the issue. Now cool, watch this. See how they fall down, and as they're jumping in this space, I have a 1 block gap, which means only magma cubes and theoretically baby zombie pigmen, the small zombie pigmen, would be able to get out into this gap and fall. You can't really see it here, but they'll be able to fall into the void. Into the void, gone for forever. So now if we imagine that there are tons of blaze and, you know, maybe a couple of low health zombie pigmen, maybe a couple of low health withers coming in, and just, again, a just metric crap ton of blaze coming into this design, those magma cubes are going to get bounced due to, like, the entities bouncing against each other, and every time they bounce, they're immediately going to get thrown into that 1 block gap. See, watch this guy. He's going to try to jump in. He's going to clip with... nope, he turned around. He's a big jerk face. He's a big jerk face. Maybe... Nope, hey. Please, do the thing. See, he can't get back in because there are too many entities preventing him from jumping back down, which means that he only has one way to go. And that's the method, that's the system that I'm going to be using in order to, see, they couldn't get in, and eventually they'll just fall down the hole. Yes. So what I'll probably need to do here is create some sort of pathing for them to think that they can get to. Maybe like a trap door or a sign or something. I don't really know what constitutes as like a fair path for something to try to walk on in order to create a gap. But it can't have collision because, say we put a trap door on the side of this green block, ignoring the redstone problem. If there was a trap door on the green block, whenever these entities would just throw him all the way to the other side of this gap, he'd just chill on top of that ladder or on top of that trapdoor. So if you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Anyway, this is the design that we're going to be using. This is the design that should fix all of our problems. Back in the real Skyblock world, I realized that we haven't fully deconstructed our original, like that placeholder design that we had. So we'll need to deconstruct this. The sizing, the spacing on our current Nether Fortress farm is totally fine. Again, we're getting blaze, we're getting wither skeletons. We'll probably need to increase the height of this thing in order to cause just more fall damage deaths, and which should just leave us with Blaze. And then, you know, the stuff that bounces off of the slime pusher, and then mobs that have like feather falling or are standing on chickens or something like that. So we've got a little bit of work ahead of us, and looking at it, it looks like we'll need to do a couple of things here. First things first is we'll need to create some sort of safety net. So when you know, we eventually get booped off, because that's going to happen. We're going to get booped off at some point. We don't just fall into the void, losing things like actually, I put away the infinity mending bow, and I'm just using a regular mending bow, so that way it's not nearly as bad. But still, we've got a lot of stuff here, chat room, a lot of really nice stuff. I don't feel like losing just yet. So I think we need to create some sort of, basically, safety net, deconstruct the old gold farm, nether fortress farm, and then we'll need to deconstruct this floor, disable this nether fortress farm, deconstruct this floor, and then rebuild the other floor. I've already gathered most of what I hope I'll need for this project. Just tons of blocks, tons of furnaces, tons of wait, a single furnace? I might need more furnaces, chat room. I thought I put more furnaces in there. Oh well, tons of blocks, tons of everything in order to get this project done. What I need to do now is make a ton of upside down, a bunch of slabs, and then we'll need to place them upside down in the nether, so that way monsters don't spawn on them, in a giant ring, a much more giant ring than we currently have placed around the platform that we're going to be building. So let's do that first. So do I actually, before I make a ton of slabs, do I have any slabs? I've got 39. Okay, cool. We're fine to make a ton more. Alrighty, chat room. I'll see you back in the nether. As I zone into the nether, I remember that we have this really rudimentary gold farm here as well. It's not super great. Again, it was rudimentary is definitely the word that I would use. We have to like shoot down a zombie pigman, which aggroes other zombie pigmen, and then because there's trap doors up there, they kind of all just jump off to their deaths. This is eating mob cap, and it's eating it away from, you know, what we actually... Hey, you're not supposed to be up there. Place? Hello? Almost got him. Hello? Stop. The variance in my bow. There we go. Oh, we just booped him up further. So we'll need to destroy this as well. So we've got 2 bits of old farms that we need to get rid of. Not just the one. One of the first issues I noticed while we're looking at this farm is zombie pigmen dropped out of the bottom of the nether fortress farm aren't instantly dying upon death. And this guy spawned because we are walking up. All I need to do is just make it so that way, words are hard. I just need to, like, ideally move the nether portal closer or something like that, so that way we're not, that platform that the slime wall moves on, isn't a valid spawning spot. That should be easy enough. Maybe we'll put some string down above it. I don't know yet. Anyway, when zombie pigmen drop out of the bottom of this farm, they're not instantly dying. See, those skeletons didn't instantly die either, which means our height is off. Which means that we've got to, in correcting the base of this guy and correcting the crusher floor is going to have to get dropped, which means the floor that we're standing on is also going to need to be dropped. So let's go ahead and correct that as well. Bottom floor of the design is right there. We are standing, I'm gonna do it by what we're looking at. So 26, 51, 71. We're looking at 51, and they need to fall 24 blocks to death, which means that when we get to the bottom, where they fall needs to be the 27th block in order to kill zombie pigmen, and by extension, everything else. Wow, we really messed this up when we originally built it, huh? If we're going from 51, I'm standing on Y27 right now. I'm standing on Y27.5, if we're being honest. which means that they need to fall to this level. That's probably where I messed up my math. I probably was like, let's build the... okay, they need to fall 24 blocks in order to kill them. So we're going to put the floor right here, and then I built the crusher up off the floor, which means that it shouldn't have been done this way. It should have been done crusher first, which is just... ugh. Okay, so I've got a lot of correcting in front of me. This right here is the easiest way to move blocks downward in the nether, so we're currently looking at 29. The player needs to be standing at 24.5, if I did my math correctly. So this is 29, it's now 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 23, and then if we put a block on top of that, it should be 24, no, that would be 23.5. Okay, so I need to go 2 up from the bottom. Ah, it's cool, we just got a too thick foundation, it's alright. Woo! I got the floor finished. I just had to take that piston, and I already put it back at base. But I just had to take that piston, push down a couple more blocks, and I finished the floor that we're going to be building all of the base off. This is... I might need to make it a little bit bigger just for, like, safety scaffolding, but all of this is going to get moved down, you know, what is this, 10 blocks? And I am standing on Y21, and so I'm standing at Y21.5, which is the height I believe I need. Now I need to, I've already disassembled, or not disassembled, but I've already disabled the Nether Fortress mob farm. So all the mobs are basically just sitting up there at the top doing nothing. They're just chilling. They're just like, hey, we're just hanging out. I'm safe to disassemble this and then start building the new updated crusher that I showed you guys at the beginning of the video here. All of the previous design has now been deconstructed. It is just bare bones of the new design here. I've got not a whole lot of it completed, but I've got, you know, the basic floor done, all the magma blocks, the ladders, the positions where the slime blocks are going to be pushing in, condensing all of the mobs into that 1x1 spot, and then they explode back out into the area where entity cramming is no longer relevant. So that's all done. I just need to start throwing redstone at it now. Lots and lots of redstone. By the way, just to quick fill you in, there's a challenge right now. If I fall off the map at any point while building this, I have to replace all of the glass with pink. Just thought you guys should know, in case it suddenly happens. The side pushers are now complete. No deaths. I now have the back redstone that controls the sink installed, and I also have the second primary quad piston extender installed. Now I've just got to wire up the button for the crusher and the storage system, and then we're good. And with that, the farm is done. I have completed all of the redstone here in the back. We've got the timing set up, the self-correcting stabilizer, the piston crusher is now wired. The quad piston extender in the back is working. The only thing that I have left to do, and I even have the item storage completely set up now too. All of the rotten flesh, the coal, the chicken, the gold, the blaze rods is being fed. You can just see the hoppers here being fed underneath the ground that the player is standing on, fed through those hoppers, up a bunch of droppers, and then it goes through the item storage system. So the only thing that we have left to do is turn the farm on. So I'm gonna do that really quick, and then I'll check in with you guys one last time. Oh god, these stairs are the worst. I'll check in with you guys one more time, and we'll see how that maiden voyage goes. Dude, there's so many mobs that are about to fall the second we turn this thing back on. And there it is! It's working! I quickly ender pearled all the way back down. As soon as I opened up and released the floodgates, here's all of our blaze. Ready to go. Entity check, I see 30 some odd here. I'm going to go ahead and push the button. Most of this stuff, anything that's not a blaze, should die to suffocation damage long before the blaze do. That zombie pigman must have spawned down here. And then everything was one swipe to death. That block will retract now that... Woo! We did it! We did it, chat room! YouTubes! Whatever the hell! Thank you! It's done! It's done! It's successful! Look at this! And all of those items should be... Look at that. Look at that. Look at all of the items that are currently being fed in through the item sorting system. Oh my gosh. Alright, and that is going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for checking it out today. And again, I'm sorry for the delay. Hopefully we are able... The goal is 1 skyblock a week as we ramp back into things. Ideally, I'd like to be making 2 episodes of Skyblock a week, 1 tutorial a week, and then maybe 1 vlog a week. But again, we're going to start slow and build into it. If you guys want more Nims content, be sure to check me out on twitch.tv/NimsTV. And lastly, I do want to say thank you to all of the people that have supported me on Patreon. Without you guys, this is not possible. So much love and appreciation goes out to Flamewheel, Zyle, Already Al, David B, Castle Baby, Gareth Lore, Whiskey T Fox, Nico Like, Ryan Kraft, Matthew B, Bassy Fiend, Acid Burn, John M, Chris Berg, Dylan M, and Windman. Thank you again. And without you guys, it's not possible. The dream's not here. Thank you for being patient through the dark days. Hopefully those are behind us. See you guys next time. Bye-bye-bye.